Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Welcome. That's all I got to say for y'all is welcome. Look, you are tuned in to an amazing conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real as always, so kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on today's conversation, I will be sharing with you some big moves happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma. As you know, they had a historic win by electing I believe their first black mayor in Tulsa. And like I said, he's making some big moves. He is making some big moves in the city of Tulsa. Speaking of Tulsa, I'm a huge fan of Tulsa King. I don't know if y'all have heard the news, but they are working on a spinoff that's going to take place in New Orleans. By the way, shout out to New Orleans. And WBOK 12:30 a.m. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays, weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, on WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Going back to what I was saying earlier, yes, Tulsa King, the hit TV show that stars, I think, Golden Globe Award winner Sylvester Stallone. He plays a mob boss in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I think there's been maybe like 3 seasons so far. I don't know if it's gotten renewed. It's a hit. I love it. It's on Paramount Plus. I'm because of my schedule. I remember like watching like say the first season, and then I took so long of an absence from the show, and now I'm continuing to finish up season 2. But when I saw online that they are doing a spinoff and taking place in New Orleans, I'm like, oh, bet who's gonna be playing the star? Man, they're gonna have Samuel L. Jackson as the lead. Man, this show's gonna be dope. I'm telling you right now, this is probably one of the best spinoffs that they're gonna have. It might even be even more popular than Tulsa King. That's just me. But look, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some sports news happening. As you know, Tom Thibodeau was recently fired by the New York Knicks. I happen to be a diehard Knicks fan, so honestly, it wasn't a shocker to me, but I guess to majority of folks out there, they're like, wow, but he was doing so good, this and that and the other. How could they fire him? I'll explain that a little later on the show. Also, if I have some time, Simone Biles had some words for Riley Gaines. If that name doesn't ring a bell, let me remind you all who this lady is. Riley Gaines became a advocate for women's sports because she was a top-tier collegiate swimmer, but she was one of the individuals that came in second behind a transgender swimmer, someone who at the time when they were biologically a male, how can I put it like this? When they were identifying as a male, was competing in men's swimming, right? No, not really at the, successful in that realm, and then transition, started to compete against women and dominated. And Riley Gaines became a huge star because she became the voice. She became, she shared how it was unfair, and she's been very accepted and praised by the right, obviously, because that's one of their biggest things that they fight against. And I'll talk a little more about it. Long story short, y'all, we got a lot of stuff to chop it up here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, thank you so much for those who are taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. I want to acknowledge those who happen to be streaming us right now on YouTube. Again, please subscribe, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it if you can do so. Also, thank you to all those who are streaming us by way of Rumble, or even on Goatverse TV. Okay, Goatverse TV. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, it is free. What are you waiting for? It's an amazing app filled with so many great programs like yours truly. You can go on the App Store, you can download it on the Google Play Store, or you can also download it on Roku as well as Amazon Fire. Again, amazing app filled with so many great programs like myself. I've even going to be bringing on some of their personalities on this program to talk more about that amazing app. For those who listen to us by way of podcast, we're available on all podcast platforms, so you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show pretty much on wherever. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And then I would like to acknowledge that you can also listen to us on the radio airways. As I mentioned earlier, we are in the New Orleans area, so I want to shout out our listeners right now that are tuning in at the moment by way of WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. And then also I want to move it on to the Metro Atlanta area, where you can listen to us Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Again, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show on those selected platforms. Let's see what else do I got going. Oh, look, if you happen to be on social media, please do me a favor, follow us on all social media platforms where you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack. Please do me a favor, subscribe to our Substack page. I truly appreciate that. We have a lot of great content on there. We continue to grow that platform. You know, Substack alone is just one of those growing platforms where you see a lot of successful journalists that are leaving the corporate media space and they're going more on the independent circuit. So Substack has really been building up as that avenue. And it's quite interesting. You know, my theory because I'm noticing folks like obviously like a Don Lemon, like Joy Reid, like a Jim Acosta, Katie Fang. I mean, the list goes on and on with a lot of, and these are more left-leaning journalists, because I'm trying follow with me, y'all, where I'm trying to go with this. They are really praising Substack and YouTube, which, don't get me wrong, YouTube is an amazing platform. Hey, I'm on it. I love you. I mean, I love YouTube. It gives you the opportunity to grow as a content creator. And it's dope. It's a great a great platform. But it dawned on me, it's like the left is really sharing YouTube and Substack, mainly Substack, as that ultimate left-leaning streaming platform for left-leaning journalists. Rumble, which I happen to be on as well, Rumble is primarily conservative, very conservative. There was a period where there was folks that were getting banned and kicked off of YouTube because they were, very conspiracy like, a very far right leaning X, Y, and Z. And so in comes Rumble, becomes a huge, platform. Now, again, you know me, I'm a person where I want to be on all platforms. That's just how I roll. I could care less who's on the platform. And it's funny because obviously you see the difference between subscribers and viewerships, because like I said, Rumble is more a conservative platform. So, they don't enjoy hearing my mouth on Rumble, because I bash the right pretty often. But again, I bash the left, but it's just the left can take the criticism. Some can, not all. But folks on the right, they're like, I mean, it's insane. Anyway, where am I going with this? Please follow us on all those platforms, y'all. Truly appreciate it, on those social media platforms. Also, as you know, we have a wonderful website, www.theagshow.com. AG, which is obviously initials for Arrington Gavin. So you can go on there. You can contact us through our website as well if you want to give us any feedback, be a part of our newsletters. We have a lot of great stuff on there. You can also tune into the show from there. And we also, if you would love to email me some of your ideas, anything that you would like for me to discuss here on the show, or just if you just have questions, right? Hey, do me a favor, hit me up on info@theagshow.com. That is my email, info@theagshow.com. I told y'all we are growing. We are growing here. Let's see what do we got next for you guys. Let me see what I got going on. Let's go ahead and do a quick fun fact, and then we'll head to a commercial break after that. So, my friends, on today's fun fact, did you all know that sea otters hold hands while they sleep? Oh, say it with me, y'all. Oh, yeah, it's true. Sea otters hold hands while they sleep. Says here, this keeps them from drifting apart in the water. I feel as though like there's ladies right now are saying, I wish my man would go sleep with me holding my hand. So, we never drift apart, because I'm just saying, he be on. I mean, hey, this could help couples in general. Like, just go to sleep holding hands. It'll be difficult for me because I'm a side sleeper and I move around a lot too. My wife and I, we move around when we sleep. So I know we wouldn't be comfortable doing that. But we love each other. We love each other. Love you, baby. Love you, baby. All right, my friends. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Again, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We got a lot more show for you. So we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healty beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
GAINES Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazarenLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
What is happening, family? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Before I get going with some more topics here, I would like to share with you a recent poll that I read from CNN. It says here that most Americans believe that no party has strong leaders. And guess what, y'all? They're absolutely right. How long do I have to continue to say this? The two-party system is broken. Do you hear me? Broken. Do I need to say louder for the folks in the back to listen? The two-party system is broken. All right. Says here, in a recent survey, 43% of people said no party is made up of strong leaders. Obviously, you see they show a photo of Hakeem Jeffries, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Trump, Speaker House Johnson. Says here that Republicans never failed to disappoint. They came in second with 40% and Democrats with 16%. Now, however, this is a drastic change from the 2016, when only 10% said that neither party has strong leaders. Now, 49% picked Republicans and 35% picked Democrats. Now, the poll surveyed, it surveyed around 2,359 adults between May 5th and 26th. with the margin of error of 2.7%. Look, we're going to continue to see these studies showing how bad this whole two-party system is at this point. Mainly because you have folks that are refusing to give up power. That's another thing. Also, I can continue to talk about the dumb strategies that we see going on with these campaigns, not obeying with what the folks are asking for, continue doing the whole cookie cutter. Well, you know, when I was a kid, when I grew up, when I was this and I was that, after, you know, and it's funny because you realize, and I actually made a new friend. I made a new friend. My wife and I, we went on a double date with some friends, and her girlfriend, my wife's girlfriend, is talking to this gentleman, right? Real cool guy. And eventually we got to talking about just a little bit of everything. Eventually we started talking a little bit about politics. And, you know, when we were talking about it, hey, he acknowledged that he's a Trump supporter. He gave his points. You know, I'm just that person, y'all. I don't bash people for who they vote for. And I get it, because nowadays, and I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to say, well, you vote for Trump, well, I can't talk to you, because look, when it comes to politics, it does have some strong meaning to it. I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican kind of thing. Trump alone got some, you know, I can say some words about this guy. But the main thing that he said that after talking, because you can talk to those who just says I'm always going to vote Republican, and don't care who you meet, the ones that are just not aware on policies with this guy, and they think of something else, more benefit is coming out of it for them. But then this guy was just saying it's the brash, it's the unfilteredness, it's this, it's that. What it is, y'all, we see now how, like, someone like a Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, right? Fan favorite, very popular. Why? Because she's a no BSer. She's a no BSer. Says what she says, means what she says. Folks like a Trump, hey, you don't have to like what he says, but this man, he will tell you something, and then he will go ahead and do so. It could be the dumbest thing, the most wrong idea, but he will do so. He's also a liar too. I mean, let's forget he's a first class in that belt. But I look at the issues happening on both sides. Obviously, on the last show, we have spoken about how, and previous shows, we talk about all the party switching happening from folks who have been longtime Dems moving as independents, longtime Republicans becoming Democrats. I mean, it's interesting on what's happening right now. I want to also share to follow you up with this as well, in addition to that polling. This came across my feed. I want to share with y'all. Imagine having, y'all, a government that now has over 30 people employed in the administration who used to work for a TV station that had to be paid $787 million for lying to its viewers. Imagine that. Just have that mindset, right? Janine Pirro, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard. The list goes on and on with all of these Fox News, Nate, Sean Duffy, all these folks in the White House. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. I mean, it's just, y'all, what is it? What is going on? What is going on? It is, I mean, it is, I just realized that. I'm like, damn, 30 people, they have employed 30 people from Fox News in the White House, classified positions. Woo, Lord help us, Lord help us. But that's not the case. Let me start off with our first story here, because I'm not gonna spend time talking about freaking Fox News, nor do I want to. By the way, let me go ahead and get my notes already. So, as I mentioned earlier, Tulsa Mayor, who had made history, he is already making some big moves. And when I tell you they're big moves, they are massive moves. And I want to share this soundbite, but before I do that, let me go ahead and read you this headline here. It says here, Tulsa's new black mayor proposes $100 million trust to repair an impact of 1921's race massacre. I'm going to say that one more time. Tulsa's newly elected mayor, first black mayor ever elected for the city of Tulsa, proposed a $100 million trust to repair the impact of the 1921 race massacre. Go ahead and play this soundbite real quick and we'll talk on the other side.
On my 104th day in office, I signed an executive order recognizing today, June 1st, as Tulsa Race Massacre Observance Day in the city of Tulsa. On this first day of observance, I'm announcing that my office has been working alongside our legal department on the establishment of the Greenwood Trust, a private charitable trust that will raise and facilitate the investment of $105 million in private funds along our road to repair, restoration, and revival.
So let me go ahead. I know it's kind of hard reading that, but let me go ahead and read you this. So as I mentioned earlier, the proposed $100 million private trust as part of a reparations plan to give descendants of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre scholarships and housing help in a city-backed bid to make amends for one of the worst racial attacks in U.S. history. The plan by Mayor Monroe Nichols, the first black mayor, as I mentioned earlier, of Oklahoma's second largest city, Tulsa, would not provide direct cash payments to descendants or the last two centenarian survivors of the attack that killed as many as 300 black people. He made the announcement recently at Greenwood Culture Center, located in the once thriving district of North Tulsa, that was destroyed by a white mob. Nichols said he does not use the term reparations, which he calls politically charged, characterizing his sweeping plan instead as a road to repair. Now, I won't quote what he said, but well, actually, no, I will. He said that for 104 years, the Tulsa Race Massacre has been a stain on our city's history. He said after receiving a standing ovation from several hundred people, he said the massacre was hidden from history books. Hidden, y'all. You hear me? Hidden from history books. Only to be followed by the intentional acts of reddling a highway built to choke off economic vitality and the perpetual, good grace, I cannot say that word, underinvestment of local, state, and federal governments. And now it's time to take the next big steps to restore. I love that word, restore. Maybe the left could take some notes on this guy, right? Wording, restore, not reparations, restore. Nichols said the proposal wouldn't require city council approval, although the council would need to authorize the transfer of any city property to trust, something he said was highly likely. Now, the private charitable trust would be created with a goal to secure $105 million in assets, with most of the funding either secured or committed by June 1st of 2026. Although it says here details would be developed over the next year by an executive director and a board of managers, the plan calls for the bulk of the funding, $60 million, to go toward improving buildings and revitalizing the city's north side. I first want to just say, again, this is an example of action, putting it into action. he said it right there. Oh, this don't need no city's approval. Yeah, we need some certain things. Excuse me, it doesn't need council's approval, but certain things need to be authorized. But this is making a statement. This is where what happens where you are when you are given a platform, when you are given the role to do what's right. This is absolutely, you are the first African-American mayor, first black mayor, excuse me, elected in the city of Tulsa. This is a big deal. That right there, that's his real, that helped him get reelected. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. That right there helped him get reelected. Trying to see here. Says here, Tulsa is not the first U.S. city to explore reparations. The Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois, was the first U.S. city to make reparations available to its black residents for past discrimination, offering qualified households $25,000 for home repairs, down payments, or on property, and in interest or late penalties on property in the city. The funding for the program came from taxes on the sale of recreational marijuana. Other communities and organizations that have considered providing reparations range from the state of California to cities including Amherst, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, Asheville, North Carolina, Iowa City, Iowa. Religious denominations like the Episcopal Church and prominent colleges like Georgetown University in Washington. In Tulsa, there are only 2 living survivors, y'all. 2 living survivors of the race massacre, both of whom are 110 years old. Woo! 110 years old. Their names are Leslie Benningfield Randall and Viola Fletcher, the women both of whom were in attendance during this event, received direct financial compensation from both a Tulsa-based nonprofit and a New York-based philanthropic organization, but have not received any recompense from the city or state. I think this is dope, y'all. I think this is really cool. I think this is a great story that should continue to be shared. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. When it comes to, there's so many issues happening in our society in certain selected cities. When it comes to the keyword that he said, restore, there's so many restoring moments that we need done. We do, but we're not going to get it from this administration. I mean, come on, restore. Good gracious, that ain't gonna happen. So kudos to Mayor Nichols out there in Tulsa, man. That's some awesome stuff. I mean, Tulsa again is already getting some huge traction, as I mentioned earlier, on the Hollywood scene because of the hit show Tulsa King, which is one of my favorite shows, by the way. And I'm looking forward to the spinoff that they're working on too. Let me digress from this story, move it on to another one. Let's move it on to some sports right here. Y'all, I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but I am a diehard Knicks fan, diehard New York Knicks fan. And recently, New York has had a successful season. They just finished off a successful season. We made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. We should have. Well, there were a lot of moments that was passed on. We could have easily made it to the finals easily, if it was some smart play calling, and just smart coaching. Tom Thibodeau was that coach. All right. Tom Thibodeau was our coach, I believe, for about 5 seasons, almost 6 seasons. From he was hired in 2020 and he just got let go this past year. Look, we had some great talent, great years. We again, me being a diehard Knicks fan, I've seen the worst of the worst days. I've seen where we couldn't even win a game to save our life. You hear me? We cannot win a game to save our life. This is just some little pocket moments during his tenure, especially after this season. So, as you know, they're giving us, okay, what has happened under the Knicks watch for Tom Thibodeau. Excuse me, how was the Knicks under Tom Thibodeau's watch? So first East Finals in 25 years he led us to. Made it to the playoffs four of the last 5 years. First consecutive 50+ win season since 1990s. Again, just some pocket moments. And on top of that, he was elected as Coach of the Year in 2021. So just his second year with New York. His overall, let me see here. I believe his overall record with New York. Trying to see if I can. Let's see here. So I'm pulled up his stats right now. Okay, this past season was 51-31. The previous season was 50-32. Before that was 47-35. He's averaged well over, it looks like 40 games, well over 40 wins. So again, not bad at all. His first season, we lost in the first round in the playoffs, missed the playoffs the year after that, and then, like I said, conference semifinals, lost conference, and then lost in the. I mean, it was he's a great coach. I will say this. He did his thing, but folks are all scratching their heads like saying, why did he get fired? Didn't y'all have a good season? Look, there is such thing as good coaches getting fired, not based on record, but based on strategy, based on coaching style, play calling. This past playoffs, he worked the hell out of our starters. I'm just saying what I've watched, right? He worked the hell out of our starters. There were moments where you had guys playing 46 minutes long. Give the guys a break. They're already playing back to back to back to back. Give them a break. Play our bench. Like he overly played our starters, and to the point where they got gas. Your star players was getting gas, and then guess what? Indiana went off. And so that's why he was fired. You're like, wait, we made it to this level. You need to change it up. You need to do something. You need to make smarter decisions with this, Tom. We are not Chicago. You have to change it up. Stupid play calling. Stupid play calling. With New York, okay, his overall record in his 5 seasons with us, 226 wins and 174 losses. Not bad. 4 playoff appearances and brought the energy back to Madison Square Garden, which he did. Again, Tom gave us some great years, and I thank him for that, because he took us to a spot where we didn't know we were ever going to do. But here's the thing: once we're there, we got to keep that momentum. That man, we should have beat. We could have beat Indiana. Indiana's a stacked team. They're a great team. We have great players. We have, maybe like 2 great players, one really successful player in Mark Bronson, but not Jalen Bronson. And I think Mark Bronson is like a musician, but no, in Jalen Bronson. And Indiana has a lot of really good players. Okay, so we have one great player, but Indiana has a lot of really good players that play in unison, that play smart basketball, that never is tired. I feel like it. I mean, it's insane. So as of right now, finals is happening between OKC and Indiana. I'm gonna say not OKC. I think Indiana's gonna win this thing. A lot of folks are saying OKC because you got the MVP on that squad. But I'm gonna say Indiana. I really do. But I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to speak on that because a lot of folks are just scratching their head like, wow, why did he let go? Why did he get fired? This and the other. And I'm no oh Lord, what's the owner of the Knicks? I got off the tip of my tongue to save my life. I'm not a fan of him by any means. He is to me the James Dolan. There we go. James Dolan. He is to me like the Jerry Jones in pro basketball. Like he just I feel like he's always been too involved in stuff and doesn't let coaches do what he want to do. But hey, obviously he really respected Tom Thibodeau because Tom Thibodeau did his thing. He said what he wanted to do and didn't have any distractions. But I think they were, win or lose, they were already going to fire him. But obviously the questions are who will be a great candidate, who will be next. I remember in the past, Patrick Ewing was one to, had thought about, or I think, I don't know if he applied, but there was like rumors that, what if he was a coach? Because he ended up going to college, coaching Georgetown. Didn't really make a lot of noise, but obviously Patrick Ewing is a Knicks legend. That'll be great publicity, but we don't need publicity. We need wins. We don't need publicity. We need wins. We don't need we're already in New York City. We're always going to get all the publicity. It's like it's Hollywood's in that spot. It's star-studded events 24/7 in New York City. So we don't need the publicity. Jason Kidd's name has been circulating. I think that'll be great. To me, I think Jason Kidd is a great coach. He's one of those rare coaches that retire from being a player, goes to coaching, and actually has a quite successful career. Because I remember we had Derek Fisher at one point, maybe for like 2 or 3 years. He was awful. He was awful. It was that time when we had Phil Jackson as our GM or as our president of operations, and he's bringing on all his Lakers fam onto the New York side. It did not work out. I was happy when Derek Fisher left. But we've been through some coaches now. I would say out of the groups that I've seen, Thibodeau was the best one, but if he's not willing to change that strategy, then what are we doing here? And I think that's why you have in business, you have what? You have a 5-year plan. Sometimes you have a 7-year plan. This was their 5-year plan in order to get a ring. Didn't get it. Hey, got to go on. Got to say bye-bye. He's going to get a good chunk of money. Tom Thibodeau, that is. He's 67 years old. He probably still wants to coach, or he might retire and go into sports commentating. I mean, I think it's an easy win on his belt. But I don't think it's a big loss for New York. I don't think New Yorkers were too, sad to hear that he left. We have the utmost respect for him. He led our squad to a peak where we haven't been to in a long time. But again, this is just business. When it comes to play calling, there were moments that just didn't go up to par with management, even with the fans. My wife's side of the family are big sports fans. IQ in basketball up, to the highest power, and they were saying the same thing. Like, give the guy some rest. Give Jalen some rest. He's playing out there, and he's hogging the ball too. I hate to admit it because I was trying to not admit it because I had family and friends say the same. He's such a ball hog. I'm like, nah, he's our best player. But I mean, he is in some occasions, but in his defense too, he makes his clutch shots. Now he could have also relied on freaking Karl Anthony Towns, but his big ass always want to create a foul, and I'm like, dude, don't. That's Jalen's job. You, sir, need to have a little more toughness, or do what you do. Do what you do. Do what we pay you for. Anyways, my friends. As I digress from that, look, we're gonna take a commercial break. We come back. We have some more news in sports. This time between two very popular names in the world of sports. We'll share what issues are happening with them. So again, my friends, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
People age 65 and older are at high risk of injury, especially from falls and car crashes. But older adults can take steps to stay safe from injury and be independent longer. Tell your doctor if you have fallen, if you worry about falling, or if you feel unsteady when standing or walking. Learn more about preventing falls and aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Next up here in our headlines, sports phenomenon Simone Biles had some words for women's sports advocate Riley Gaines. And I mentioned earlier in the show who Riley Gaines was. She was the individual collegiate swimmer. I believe she was coming out of the University of Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But there, during the era or during that moment, what am I trying to say? During that period, we were watching on our television screens about this story involving a collegiate swimmer who was transitioning from male to female, and there was this huge debate that was going under with the NCAA allowing somebody that was that is a born male who had started their collegiate career as a male, then starts to go under doing the hormone treatment and was allowed to compete to move away from men's competing in men's swimming events to women's swimming events. Honestly, and I'll give you my 2 cents. And this is no disrespect to the LGBTQIA plus community. I myself am an ally. I've participated in a lot of and still do to this day a lot of organizations that are in relations with the LGBTQ plus community. I've hosted events as well. I mean, hey, you all are my brothers and sisters as well. What I will say is that on the topic of the sports debate, should biologically born women compete in men's sports, or vice versa? Should a born male that's transitioning to female be allowed to compete into women's sports? I will say no. That's my that's my case, and I would love to have the conversation to explain more with friends of mine, folks that I do know in the LGBTQ community, because the more you know, the more you grow. You have to have the conversation. I'm just giving you my honest opinion on that. I think that's something that the majority of Americans do agree on. That's why you can also, and I backtrack, when you know how Kamala Harris lost the presidential race. Why? Because the Trump administration replayed a video discussing oh gosh, it was like an ad. I don't want to misquote it, but it was kind of in the same realm of what we're sharing with here. But going back to this story, Riley Gaines was a girl who was a successful collegiate swimmer on her way to really becoming, up there in the pros. Came in second place behind and I want to get the names of the swimmer. Give me 1 second. She, I believe, is Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas was the swimmer's name, and Gaines really was the top tier swimmer. She easily could. People were saying no, she was the winner. She was the true champ. Since then, she has pocketed off of that advocacy work because she's now a political commentator. She hosts her own show called Gains for Girls. That's a weekly show that's on Fox Nation podcast as well as Outkick. So she's garnered all this, and she's just 25. So she continues to advocate. She's loved and praised by the right and far right. And so recently, and just to also mention, she's a 12-time NCAA All-American. Yes, out of the University of Kentucky. Recently, Simone Biles had some words for her. She calls her out. Simone Biles says here, and this is reported by CBS News. Simone Biles calls out former U.S. swimmer Riley Gaines over transgender comments. Let me go ahead and put a graphic up here for you while I read this piece to you all. Give me a second here as I pull that up. Alrighty. So it says here that Simone Biles took aim at a former U.S. NCAA swimmer turned conservative pundit Riley Gaines recently over the latter recent comments advocating for the exclusion of transgender athletes in women's sports. Now, Gaines was among more than a dozen college athletes who filed lawsuit against the NCAA in March of 2024, accusing it of violating their Title IX rights by allowing transgender swimmer Leah Thomas to compete at the national championships in 2022. Now, in that championship, Thomas and Gaines tied for fifth, but only Thomas was handed the fifth place trophy in the 200-yard final. All right. Since then, Gaines has become an activist staunchly opposed to having transgender athletes in women's sports. Recently, Gaines' commentary has also included spotlighting and in some cases vilifying transgender youth for their involvement in women's and girls sports. She targeted the Minnesota State High School League for not allowing comments on their post about the Chaplin Park girls team celebrating the state championships. Chaplin's Park's team included a transgender athlete. In the she commented, she said, "Comments off LOL, to be expected when your star player is a boy." That's what Gaines has said. I'll read again. She said, "Comments off LOL." Then she went on to say, "To be expected when your star player is a boy." Now, Biles, an outspoken campaigner for mental health awareness throughout her career, quickly criticized Gaines' comments on social media. Biles said, "You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race," referring to Gaines coming in fifth place. She went on to say, straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. She continued to say, instead, you bully them. One thing's for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. I mean, geez. Then she went on to add, bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. Gaines went on to, she responded to Biles in following up post saying the 7-time gold medalist stance on transgender athletes was so disappointing and labeled her a male apologist at the expense of young girls' dreams. Whoa, this is intense right here. Let's see. The former swimmer insinuated that Biles should participate in men's gymnastics due to her viewpoints. Maybe she could compete in Pomona horse and rings in 2028. Gaines also brought up Larry Nassar, a former national team doctor who sexually abused. This is when you're going too far now, Riley. Who sexually abused multiple U.S. gymnasts, including Biles, under the guise of medical treatment. Says here, all the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the men's feelings. You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true. 0, she wrote. Now, what Riley Gaines was implying is the locker rooms situation as well, allowing them to allowing transgender athletes to change with biologically male or female athletes in the same locker room. Look, this is an intense topic, I will say, and this is an intense back and forth between the two. I adore Simone Biles. I think she's an awesome athlete. I think she is a legend, right? I will say I'm not the biggest fan of Riley Gaines, but I can't disagree with her frustration, obviously, because it happened to her firsthand. Now, she has a point to counter with Simone Biles, is like, Simone, you really don't know until it happens to you. Like, you don't see in the Olympics or in some of those events that she competes in. She's not competing against transgender athletes, so you really don't know. You really don't know. Now, until I think it's different. It's different with the scoring. It really is. It's different. It's different with the scoring between the two sports, gymnastics and swimming. I mean, again, we're talking, you physically competing, racing against one person, and then it's a score system. But still, I'll say it again. Simone really doesn't know until she competes with it firsthand. Now, I get it. As she's speaking as an advocate for mental health, because when you are, and first of all, this chick is still a kid. Riley Gaines, right? She received all this success while she was finishing up college. She received all this praise, so she sees it now. Hey, look, I get paid to talk smack and do what I want to do. This is my league. This is what I do now, so I can say what I want to say. But she does have to me, a true advocate, you have to have a sincere bone in your body, right? Even though you're so pro women's sports, which is a big deal, you also have to stop playing the whole political card with this too, and really be an advocate. And I think that's where Simone is going with. She's like, look, you're bashing high school kid. Just, you don't know what's going on. Just focus on a safer way to protect them. And as far as the inclusivity role, I mean, we really just don't know. That topic is always going to be back and forth, because we've heard voices from transgender some transgender athletes, as well as not transgender athlete, transgender public figures. There's a comedian goes by Flame Monroe, very upfront, very honest. She does not believe, and very liberal, by the way. She does not believe that transgender should be allowed to compete in women's sports, vice versa, the other route. Former Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner, who had transitioned at an older age. It now is a conservative, but she is a paid contributor on Fox News. She's against it, right? So it's just a back and forth kind of thing. Look, friends, I want to ask you all, what is your take on this story, right? Is Simone Biles in the right to call out Riley Gaines? Is Riley Gaines just, doing what she does to continue to collect her paycheck? Like, what's your take on this? Because I myself, I'm just so, I want to have the conversation. I want to have the conversation. I have some folks in mind that I'm going to bring on to discuss this, because it really we need to dissect this, and we really need to have an open dialogue conversation on this, because I don't think we're doing that right now in our world. We tend to walk away from those, hey, opposing side conversations, rather than just say, okay, look, I'm going to be here in my lane, in my network, in my platform, talking this and that about you. You're going to be there talking. It's like we're not having a conversation. We're not having a conversation. I'm curious. I'm really curious with how this will continue on. As I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of Simone Biles. She is the GOAT when it comes to gymnastics. Riley never exceeds. She retired after college with her competitiveness in swimming, because she found a lane where she could make a lot of money off. Again, the right has praised her and made her into a star. All right, a star. So she's going to continue to be that person. She's going to continue to voice her thoughts once, I guess, they continue to they put this to an end, but we just don't know. We just don't know from now. Let me go ahead and digress from this story, y'all. I'm looking at my time here. Let me see here. I'll share with you for the next maybe the next couple minutes. Well, actually, no, I got less than that. Let's see here. We got a lot more, man. We got a lot more. I wish I would have shared with you all, but until next time, my friends, continue to be alert, continue to be informed, continue to, have those conversations. Look, it's nothing wrong to have an opinion on something. It's not wrong to ask the question, rather than just, holding it inside, or you're just out of curiosity, right? This is still Pride Month, all right, where we advocate for our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ plus community. They're wonderful people. They're still humans. And so we have to always be aware and, protect our people. If you're quote unquote, if you're pro-American, well, good. You need to protect other Americans, because there's still folks that are being discriminated because of who they love and who they want to, who they are. That's sad. And that's the world we live in, y'all. As always, my friends, I'm looking at my time here. As always, continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Weeknights available on all digital streaming platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves. My friends, we will continue to have some in-depth, real good, heart-to-heart conversations. Zero sugarcoating, unfiltered. Hey, I say stuff that might piss you off. I might say stuff that you agree with. I don't care. I don't care. If you have any questions, again, do me a favor. Email me at info@theagshow.com. Visit our website, www.theagshow.com. A as in apple, G as in go. Okay. And .com, theagshow.com. Follow us. Check our website out. Peace and blessings, y'all. I'll see you next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.